In this question, we have a cable, and the cable consists of two cylinders. The inner cylinder is of radius A, and the outer cylinder is of radius B. It is also given that within the inner cylinder, the charge is distributed in the volume with uniform volume charge density as ρ, and the charge is distributed over the surface of the outer cylinder with uniform surface charge density given by sigma. It is also given that the volume charge density of the inner cylinder is positive and the surface charge density of the outer cylinder is negative. It is also given that the cable as a whole is electrically neutral. That is, the positive volume charge density, ρ, is cancelled off by the negative surface charge density of the outer cylinder. We are asked to find the electric field in three regions. First, inside the inner cylinder, in the second case, between the cylinders, and in the third case, outside the cable. So let us now solve for the first case. In the first case, we are asked to find the electric field in a region inside the inner cylinder, that is, inside the cylinder of radius A. So let us say we want to find the electric field at this point. So we draw a Gaussian cylinder passing through this point. The radius of the cylinder will be S, and let us call the length of the cylinder as L. Let us first write down the Gauss's law. It is the closed surface integral of electric field dot dA is equal to the charge enclosed divided by epsilon naught. Now what will be the charge enclosed? We are given that the charge is distributed in a volume inside the first cylinder given by volume charge density as ρ. ρ is nothing but charge per unit volume. So in unit volume, we have ρ amount of charge. Therefore, to find the total charge enclosed within a Gaussian cylinder, we just multiply ρ with the volume of a Gaussian cylinder, which will be pi s square L. So this will be our charge enclosed. What will be this integral? We know that the electric field will be along this direction, that is radially outward. So the electric field for the end caps will be along this direction, but the dA vector will be along this direction. So the angle between them is 90 degrees, so the dot product will be 0. And for this region, that is for the curved rectangular region, the electric fields and the dA vector point in the same direction. So E dot dA for the rectangular region will be just the magnitude of the electric field times the magnitude of the area vector, since cos 0 is 1. So finally we will get integral of magnitude of electric field times the area, which is equal to the charge enclosed, which was ρ, pi s square L divided by epsilon naught. Now since the electric field will be constant at all points on the curved rectangular region, we can take the electric field outside. So we will get the electric field. Now the integral of surface area will just be the area of this region, that is the curved rectangular region, which we know is nothing but 2 pi s times L, where s is the radius of a Gaussian cylinder and L is the length of a Gaussian cylinder, which will be equal to pi ρ pi s square L divided by epsilon naught. Therefore, we will get the electric field as rho S divided by 2 epsilon naught. And since the electric field is along the increasing direction of radius S, we can represent that direction using unit vector S cap. So this will be our answer for the first case. Where S cap is along this direction, that is along the increasing direction of radius vector. Now for the second case, we have to find the electric field in between these two cylinders, that is somewhere over here. Let us say we have to find the electric field at this point. Then we draw a Gaussian surface passing through this point. It will be a cylinder again. And again, let us call the radius of this Gaussian cylinder as S and the length as L. And in this case, the radius of a Gaussian cylinder S has to be bigger than the radius of the inner cylinder A and smaller than the radius of the outer cylinder B. So A is less than S and S less than B. Now we can use the same logic we applied in the last case. The electric field will again be along this direction, and the dA vector will also be in this direction, so we can get rid of the dot product and take the electric field outside the integral sign. And again, the area dA vector for the end cap will be along this direction and the electric field will be along this direction, so the dot product will again be 0. So again, we can first write down the Gauss's law, which is closed surface integral of E dot dA is equal to the charge enclosed divided by epsilon naught. And again, like last case, we'll find out the charge enclosed as rho. Now this time, since we know that the charges are distributed on the surface of the outer cylinder and within the volume of the inner cylinder, there is no charge in between the cylinders. All the charge is distributed in the volume of the inner cylinder of radius A. So in this case, we'll multiply the volume charge density rho with the volume of the inner cylinder pi A square L. So this will be our charge enclosed. And again, we can just take the electric field outside, close integral of dA, which is nothing but E times 2 pi S, where S is the radius of a Gaussian cylinder, times L. And we can now put everything together to get the electric field as rho A square divided by 2S epsilon naught. And again, the electric field will be along the increasing direction of the radius S, or the radius vector S. So we can represent that direction using S cap. S cap will be along this direction. This is the answer for the second case. Now for the third case. When our point lies outside the cable. In the question, it was given that the positive volume charge density is cancelled out by the negative surface charge density. So for any point outside the cable, the net charge enclosed will be 0. So for this point or this point, any point outside the cable, the charge enclosed will be 0. Now, for Gauss's law, dot dA, this will be charge enclosed divided by epsilon naught, which will be 0. So if an integral evaluates to 0, then the integrand must be 0. Therefore, the electric field must be 0. This is the answer for the third and the final case.